Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have the TruVideo panel, and Ted, video is making quite the waves in fixed operations.
Sarah, it certainly is. Look at this. We have the two legends with us here on the roundtable. Joe Shaker, founder of True Video, and on the West Coast, Tully Williams at the Nilo Company. Joe and Tully, I never thought I'd say this. Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Yeah. Hey, I've known Tully. Yeah, I've known Tully for a long time. We were in a 20 group together at with my dealerships and him in maybe 20 years ago. But I've known Tully for a long time. So I'm hoping I could get through this event here.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you that at NADA a few months back in Las Vegas, Sarah and I were recording, and Tully came over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "It's time. We're going to see Joe at True Video right now." And literally, we dropped everything we were doing, brought the film crew, as you remember,
Yeah.
and brought the team, and we went down to see you. And Joe, it's got to be the most exciting thing that I saw at NADA. And there was a lot there, but I think you had the technology piece handled.
Yeah, our goal there was, because we have partners, Reynolds, CDKX Time, and we power so many people for video. We're kind of like the NVIDIA inside now. So our goal there wasn't to sell anything to anybody. It was to say, look, this is the value of video. This is what's happening with AI. And then here is where the future is. So it's like, here's the current state. Here's where it's going. Here's what the dealers and everybody are, every minute we turn over another issue that we can look at and solve. So what we did was we tried to make that like a CES experience. And what ended up happening was we had, 12 OEMs come to see us. We had everybody. Usually I'm running around eating peanuts and granola bars, meeting to meeting. And it ended up where we had everybody come into our booth so they could meet up, but also we could showcase what we were working on for future technologies. It made it a pretty fun and exciting. And we loved having you too as well. It was awesome having you stop by.
Tully, it was very impressive. What do you think?
Very impressive. I love that we're growing this industry because, you kind of think about, okay, you're just taking a video with your cell phone, but, Joe is just blowing this thing up with the next generation of cameras. What's nice to see too is that all the big companies, Xtime and all the DMSs are using this product, which means it strengthens the product for Joe, then he can offer all these great opportunities for us. And the next one of the scoring thing, which I cannot wait to talk about, this has been needed for years. And Joe, thank you so much for making this happen.
Well, Tully, I got to mark this down as you complimented me. I mean, this is the first time in years. So you did it on camera too, which is really a faux pas on your part, because now I can roll this back when we're together and when you're making fun. So this is going to be great.
Joe, tell us about the VQS, video quality score, to kind of get things started.
Well, what's interesting is Tully's a great example, and this is what's fun about having him on this. And I'm going to try not to leave any video compliments to him, but he's been in the video space forever and a day. Like when we were doing it, talking about it, Tully's been around, he's been doing it, and he immediately adopted video years and years ago when it started to come out. And so all the real good OEMs, all the real good dealers their goal was, I'm going to hit 70% video view rate. All right. And they focus on view rate. And because you could send, and what is that? Well, that number, we actually set it up. It's on customer facing repair orders. So anybody coming in for customer pay and everybody coming in for warranty are a customer facing RO. So those customers view a video at a high number, and I'll just digress a little bit. Technicians, everybody talks about having technicians take videos. That's very important, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But it's really about view videos too, because if the customer doesn't view it, doesn't matter. And the view portion is the responsibility of the advisor. And people just think technician taking videos. Well, the advisor has to say, Sarah, you're going to be getting a text from us today. It's going to have the technician doing a video. I'd love for you to take a look so you could see, and he'll point out things or she'll point out things, and it's important. And so the advisor increases the view rate. So once they hit that view rate number, they've effectively trained their technicians to do videos in volume. They've trained their advisors to encourage view rates, and they're at 80%, let's say. The dealers all are like, Kaizen, continuous improvement. Their thing is, all right, what's the next? How do I get better at this? And it always went to quality. So dealers start pouring through video after video, and they realize that this is nuts. And I can't get through the video. I can't, this is unbelievable. So we said, all right, we talked to dealers, and, we have a lot of information doing whatever, 26 million files a month. And we were like, okay, there's two pieces of it. The first piece is about 80%, and that is the content that you're saying in there. So are you, and it's both verbal and object detection. Are you doing the process correctly? Are you showing each tire? Are you showing brakes? Did you show a gauge? Did you, so what is exactly, are you following a process, right? Because what's happening is an MPI is a process. You can check, and then you go do a video for like 30 seconds. The video is the new document. The checklist is just recording the metrics in a systematic way so that we can have that data on where the car stands. But then they do the video. It needs to have that same system and process. In F&I, we have 100% of the product, 100% of the time. There's a way to do it. We have to do it. And then with the technicians, they're just picking and choosing. Number two is that's about 80% of the score. The 20% of the score is what we call the delivery, right? Words per minute, profanity, any of these different things that take the quality of how it's delivered to the customer, and then combined, we end up creating a score. I'll tell you a funny story. I thought we broke it when we were testing it early on, maybe 8 months ago. And it said this person was like 360 something words per minute. And I go, oh, damn, what's wrong with it? We got to check it out. We turned it on, this video, and the technician sounded like an auctioneer. He was like, oh, all right, we're going to go on the brakes. I thought we were in a horse race or an auction, one or the other. And I was like, oh my God, it works. Right. So at the end of the day, it's incredible. And then what it does is it highlights exactly what technicians need to train on. That technician was doing a great job, had a lot of the content and things, but their delivery was poor. So we know what to work on with that technician. And then it's the same thing. So you don't have to pour through 8 billion videos. And then you can draw other insights out of there, which I can get on later. But just in this most basic sense, if Tully says, this is the Niela way, then he can make sure that they're not pencil whipping their videos like they're pencil whipping an MPI.
And Tully, your text told us of all the products they've used, even in the past. They told us the TruVideo product is the one. And that's where I heard it first, was at Nilo.
It was. I mean, the simplification for them, because they're busy, and they need something that works, that's easy, and then they able now with the enhanced part, they can put a little circle on it, maybe put an arrow or something on there they like to do. Videos come around a long way, but the problem is the issue is getting your technicians to realize that videos are so important to them. And what we started here at the Nilo company when I came up here is that videos were, of course, instantly put on. But we also wanted to show the technicians the benefit of that video. Now, one is that we pay the technician for the inspection and video. Just so everybody understands, I pay everybody a half an hour. Oh my God, you're paying a half an hour. But I can hold them accountable. We're 99% video. Our look rate, like Joe was talking about, we're at 90%. That's because we talk about it every day. But for the technician, it wasn't it for me, is the hours they benefit from for things they sell when they do those videos. And now you talk to a writer and you talk to the technician and say, hey, 40% or 60% of the hours that you are doing in your stall were because of great same-day selling using that video. It strengthens what they need to see, because a lot of times they don't see it that way. And they're like, oh my God, look at that. So then we can hold them accountable. And Joe said it perfectly here, is that we cannot go through 8,000 videos a month. And we do like to run contests a lot. Well, every time we do a contest, we do a tech contest video. We give up to $5,000 to the number one winner over this 3-month period, right? And when we look at videos, sometimes you cringe and some are like, wow, that was incredible. And how is there a way for us on a daily basis to look at those quality of videos so we can coach and mentor our great technicians to make better videos? So we are super excited.
Yeah, what's interesting is it's going to be interesting because I know that we're going to be doing a pilot with you, and what's interesting is we we've done one of the top dealer groups in the United States. I'll give you an example of where the money is, because what Tully spoke about was Delta report. This is no video, and then this is video. So it's 40%, whatever. Each brand has different ones. Like you would see that's like a German import. It could be higher than maybe a Japanese import in terms of Delta. How much more do you get? No video versus video. There's another level now. No video versus quality video. We've tested, I think we did a 300,000 repair order sample, and it was another $60 a repair order if you scored an 80. And I'll tell you how that happened.
Wow.
A great example is we have one of the largest dealer groups in the United States using VQS. They do like 200,000 videos a month. So about 250,000 ROs, 200,000 videos a month. They were showing a filter 6% of the time, and they were mentioning it 3%. So filter is something that most people, I think the close rate is 25%. If you show a video, it's done. So $60, 25% is $15. They were missing out on $3 million a month. The 200,000 videos times $15, 36 million a year. And we didn't get past the filter. So when you, it's not just about quality, it's really about, are you following the process? Because if you don't show something, if you don't say something, you will not sell something. And it's amazing how the techs would just pick or choose. And when they have to follow a process, and dealers that score an 80 above on our scoring model, there's only 10% of dealers that do it. And when they do it, it's $60 more. And I think it's just because you're doing the right process. You're showing the right thing. So this big company came to me and said, can you help us with declined repairs? And I said, how about if I help you with repairs you didn't even show? Can we start there?
Yes. It's great to see when we're in the repeat and referral business, and it's all about retention. The 4 things that we talk about every Tuesday at our 10 at 10 meeting is brakes, batteries, tires, and maintenance. And everything that Joe's talking about with the video is all in there. And as we are driving to be over 70% plus in our group for retention number, as we are at 70 today, our next target is 75. Videos like this help you tremendously. Selling brakes, batteries, and tires, showing the people the needs, having videos, right, strengthens that and drives that retention number, which is the business that Fixed Ops is in.
Well, the other thing VQS taught me, we've been tracing all the data. So I'll give you a brake job. I call it the batting average for selling brakes. So if the technician says nothing and the advisor just sells brakes, it's a 15%, 15.12. So let's say 15%. If the brake is mentioned in the video, the advisor sells it at 22%. I'm going to take the rounding off. If they show the brake and they mention it, it goes up to 25%. If they show the brake, mention it, engage it, it goes up to 29%. So we've been able with VQS now to start figuring like, what's the batting average between not doing it terrible and doing it incredibly well. And then I look at that and I say to myself, now we're talking technology again. I go, so if I gauge it and I show it and I say it, it's the highest batting average. What happens when I'm able to use the tire reading software that I showed you guys, and then I'm able to have a picture when you could slide it and it actually shows a better picture to the customer as to the wear on the tire and why it did it? Does that number of 29 go to 36? So everything we do is communicating better and better. So what we've learned for VQS actually can tie into technologies that we make to better communicate to the customer. Okay. And then in effect, we'll raise those averages that we see, as I call the batting average for brakes.
Well, we look at brakes exactly the same way. Sorry, Sarah. We look at the brakes exactly the same way, is that if we don't show the brakes, talking about the brakes in a video does not work. And showing that brakes, our batting average needs to be 75% red brakes. That's what we want to do at the Nilo Company. We want 75 to 85% batteries. I want to be 90% maintenance, and I want to be 55% on when it comes to red tires. And I can't believe I said that low of a number out loud. But you know what? Video is what actually helps us get there. Just like Joe said, is that showing the tire, showing the measurement gives that quality and also gives that honesty that where the technician is actually the doctor of your car and here's what your car needs. We give, we buy 3, get 1 free all the time. It's embedded in our Nela way. We should sell every tire and we should sell every brake because we're not proud of the price. We just don't need you to go anywhere else. And video helps us get there.
Well, and to follow up, Tully, so VQS, this is really critical for an operation like yours and the scale that you're implementing these videos across your rooftops. But, across the industry, Ted and I are listening to conversations, and sometimes we do get the question from dealers that are saying, I have video. I definitely am using it, but my techs aren't keen on it. We're having some challenges with this tech adoption. They're just, they're not interested in being on camera. They don't want to go through all of those steps. So, Tully and Joe, I'm going to ask a little bit of a loaded question, but is tech adoption a process issue or is it a people issue?
I'll take it first. I think that when you look at it, it is a people issue first and a process second. The reason I say that is that one is that we have to convince a technician that this helps them and their family make more money, right? If we show the process and how it works. Now, this is something that doesn't happen with the snap of a finger, right? This is something that we talk about daily at our meetings. This is something we talk about our service and general managers and our dealer. They all have to be bought in. As soon as you realize and show the value that they can make more hours, and that means selling hours on the rack, not selling hours in the parking lot, they believe. And then the next thing, it becomes a process. And that's where we need Joe to, God bless him for making that scoring card, because that has been the thing that we have not had ever. We have AI that listens to phone calls. So if someone gets upset, guess what happens? Boom, sends it over to the service manager. But we've never had a way to look at 8,000 videos a month plus for us as our group. There's no way a human being can actually look at that. So they spot check. Service writers are busy. They're not going to look at the videos every day. And that's the reason it's so important. So getting back down, it's people showing them how great it is for them. And then the process comes later. And the next thing you know, we're 99% tech video. Our view rate is 90%. Our quote and our video. That's what happens when you believe in it. That did not happen overnight.
So I'll chime in and say he's exactly right, and I'll provide examples of that. So a great example is you'll see a technician that has a favorite advisor pre-video, right? And what they'll do is they'll come out with their list and they'll be walking in to talk to the advisors and they'll see the one they don't like. And then they'll go, oh, I left something. I left my light on the bench, and they'll leave. And they'll look through the window until their favorite advisor. Well, what video did was video made sure that everybody received the same transparent message from the doctor, not the receptionist. So the advisor couldn't take the 5 recommendations and water them down to 3. And everything was getting directly to the customer. So there's a thing that when you show a technician, hey, remember you'd go to the desk and wait for Mary all the time. And when Bob was there, you'd run to the bathroom. No, everything goes through. This is getting your message directly to the customer, unadulterated, square. That's the thing. So everything we say is telling the technician why it benefits them. When we do VQS and we're starting to show this to technicians, we're saying, you really don't realize this, right? But when you skip a few steps, you're actually skipping stuff that people will just take and you're missing it. Filter would be a great example because for some reason you didn't feel like showing a filter. We have to stick to a cadence because that's going to get another X. You're doing the video anyway. We're not asking you to spend any more than 1:30 or 2 minutes. And then here's the benefit to you. So every time you do it, when we made captioning right at the bottom of the video, I didn't say, hey, this is ADA compliant, all this stuff. I went to the technicians and I said, you know why you got to take the car off the rack for an approval? Because the customer's in a meeting and they can't take the phone call for an hour. So it's off the rack, it's on the rack. Well, now that the customer has it at the bottom, 85% of videos on Facebook are watched without sound. Right. They're reading the bottom and saying, okay, go ahead and do the work. It gives you a chance to not have to do that. Do you like to save time? Do you like taking things off the, I don't like to take, of course. So here's what transcriptions did for you. And so these things, every time you mention that to them, you have to mention it in a way in which benefits them. The advisors, you have the same conversation, what benefits them. People just want to know what's in it for them. Ultimately, communicating correctly, there's something in it for everybody, so it makes the message clear.
One thing I want to add to that is that when we look at I call same day selling, it's same visit selling, but the goal is going to be is the better quality that we got with our videos. And some stores have those little sticks with a finger on the end so they can point to an oil leak or a battery or a belt or some kind or something, because the cars are kind of crammed in there nowadays. Is that our same day selling back, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, we were pretty proud with 45%. We're not proud unless it hits 70 today on reds. And that's because we are doing a process, to what you said, Sarah, is a process after we believe the video works, is the process happens. So now everyone is getting hopefully a quality video, right? The service advisor now wants to sell those things because they truly believe in it. And the customer believes that if we have retention of 70+%, trust is not the issue. Money is not the issue most of the time. It's about the time that they have at the car. And guess what? We can manage that. And that's the super important. And that's how we can get up to 70+% on our red same day selling because of videos, but starts with the process.
Joe, it seems that VQS, that is the hot item right now because big groups are asking for it. We're hearing more and more about VQS throughout the industry. How are you rolling that out? How is that coming? Because I know some dealerships use different products, different DMS products that you are aligned with. Tell us a little bit more about that. And how do we get to see that in action at Tully's store?
Well, so what we did was we have a very sophisticated setup where we've trained our models. There's people that say they have, VQS and they're just using AI models. Ours were trained over millions of videos with people annotating. This is the battery paper that comes out. Like any AI model can pick out a dog or a house or whatever. So at the end of the day, we spent a lot of time because we're dealing with unbelievable professionals and accuracy is incredibly important. So we have a lot of machine learning involved and a lot of training models and annotations, as they call it. So what we did was we started getting approached when people heard we got it, and it was very specific. So then we went to our partners and said, listen, I know you have big dealers. We want them to hear it from you first. And we're going to roll it out with some of the big dealer groups, and we're going to learn first from some of them. So we're with some of the largest dealer groups in the world right now with this. And we did that through our partners. And I said, look, just let's let them try it, have fun, learn. They wanted to do it. They loved it. And then we'll learn from them. And then you guys can see the reaction from the customer and decide if this is something that should be embedded into the software, or should be an option that people should buy or whatever. We're not trying to pressure. And the OEMs really have caught on to it. We have OEMs calling us looking for direct VQS. Now, because ours is changeable, like, so if Tully says tires are our number one priority, I'm going to change our model not to be the TruVideo model. He can go to a screen and make the value of tires higher on his scoring model, because that may be so important to Tully in his yellow model that he gets to adjust that. So what we did was we rolled it out. It's working at bunches of places, and Tully, is a big X-Time guy. And Tully told me when he saw me, because we have to do this, Tully has inside track there. And so we've already heard about it, and Tully's going to be going up on a pilot. So we have very large pilots all over the country right now. And then what's happening is everybody's seeing, really testing with dealers what the demand is. And then after you do it, it's going to be more inspect what you expect, because everybody trains in our industry and then the training falls off. So by doing it and picking out anomalies, we have structures that hit the manager every day with scoring and by tech, what they need, training things. So it's really going to be really cool. We'll grab some info for Tully, and then our partners, TruVideo and internally, are going to figure out how we roll this into everybody. We'll see. I think everybody should have this. It should be part of it, but it's ultimately the customer that makes the decisions. It's not me.
And Tully, for a group like yours that have been doing this now for years, this is the logical next step, the thing that everyone has been waiting for to get better, like Joe said, and take this up to the next level.
We've been waiting for this for years because it really is hard to, and like you said, the AI thing doesn't always work, especially when it comes to these technical issues with these videos that we're doing. But think about how do we measure it? How do we talk about training technicians, right? We send them to OEM training all the time. This is part of the process. But we don't train them on videos. The only way we train on videos is if someone has a horrible video that, oh my God, we caught by accident, we're going to talk about it. But now with the score is we like to do performance reviews every month for our technicians. And we look at the last 4 months of data. And I call a performance review a way to say thank you for your hard work and show them the success they're doing. Right now, we look at the hours that they get the benefit from recommendations they sell through videos. But now, guess what I get to show? That correlation of that number and their score, and we can talk about it. So if their score is low, we can talk. The service manager, the foreman, and that technician now can talk about what they can do to help with that and look at those videos. Before, we never had that ability before to help train. So now, when our technicians come out, they can know that they're being monitored, which is good. And two is that we can train off of oopsies that happen and get our quality video. So when he says 80 is a number, 95 is what I need to be at. We're going to push to have a high score, right? And we're going to make a lot of fun and have a contest about that as that rolls out for us, because this is so important for us in our business.
I can't wait to. I may just fly out there for a couple of days to watch the fireworks. It's just. Listen, at car dealerships, if you step back for a minute, all our buildings start to look the same, and where the brands are developing. But, despite all of that, all our French fries look the same, but our French fries don't taste the same. And that's the difference between dealers. So if we can get more on process and structure and do the right things for the dealership, the right things for the customer, and the techs can have a solid process. We would never let F&I, maybe 20 years ago, they don't go, hey, that guy sells a lot. He likes to sell rate. He likes to sell warranty. This, or she likes to sell this, or she likes to sell that. There isn't that. You have to have a structure, and we don't have that today for our technicians. And so this will allow us to do that. It'll help everybody get better. And it'll really further professionalize. It's not just a video, but it's the structure of the video, the way we deliver the video, the consistency and discipline, which are the two key words in any success for a person, personally, or a business. So this is all we're really trying to do.
Well, Joe, on the 10th, we're having a pop-up event, and I would love you to come out to show the success that we're having. So you're invited June 10th.
Let's go.
Right.
Go ahead, Sarah. I know you're going.
No, it'll be really exciting, and to be at the Nilo company with Tully and Joe, of course, we'll have an incredible follow-up conversation to what we're talking about today. But just in closing, just to put it out there, there's a lot of dealerships listening. We have a lot of retailers that are on the Fixed Ops Roundtable watching this today. Why should every dealer care about the future of video and fixed operations? And I'll pose that to both of y'all.
All right, I'll start first. I feel that video is a structure of, like when we first came out with the paper inspection, where they would do the pencil whip, right? The goal is going to be is that if everybody realizes that if we provide a quality inspection and a quality video explaining the inspection, where I'm going to say it is a video inspection, customers become to know what they're getting every time they come in. And gaining trust, and if we're in the repeat referral business, trust is so important for us. And trying to drive our retention over 70% has to be your key each year. Our goal is to keep them in that car, and it's time to trade that car in. They buy another one from us, and they tell their friends and family. And video helps keep people in the stores, because here's the deal. Aftermarket doesn't do it. Bad dealers don't do it because they're trying to save a nickel to make a dollar. It doesn't work. And if your store is going to set the high standard, I believe you should pay the technician to do that inspection. And then you actually talk about it every month, if not every week or every day, and make it a huge deal and show the value. It's a complete, absolutely no-brainer.
So I'll just make two items. Tully finished with show the value. If you ever have gone to a business class in college, there's always the speech that you get. If you show value, people are willing to pay. And you're like, yeah, okay, can you give me an example? And this is the example. When you're showing value, people are willing to pay. It's less about price. It's really more about the experience, because trust is the center of the universe. The second piece, when you said, why should dealers? I just always refer to last month, 916 billion videos were watched in the United States just on YouTube. People speak video. It is not a customer behavior. It is a human behavior. And by the way, while I'm saying that, add in texting. So at the end of the day, I don't know anybody that likes to talk on the phone. And I think it's asynchronous. It's clear. I used to go to marketing conferences as a dealer, and I'd want to throw up in my mouth when I'd hear people up there going transparency and trust, all these marketing, talking heads. And I go, okay, that's great. How do you execute that? We've executed that.
Yeah.
Meet people where they are. Okay, great. How do you execute that? We've executed that, right? So we're taking these sayings and punchlines at marketing conferences. We're executing on those, and the customers are like, it's not like we have to convince them to watch video. It is like what they do. It's a human behavior. So if I'm a dealer, it's really about, hey, good luck calling them on the phone. If you want to waste your time, go ahead. But take how many repair orders you have, 1,000 customer pay, just as a round number. If you're not doing video, add $50 in labor, and it's $50,000 a month, and it's probably going to cost you $1,000 or a couple of grand to put the software. Are you kidding me? So the ROI is stupid. That's it. At the end of the day, just pay attention to what customers are doing, meeting customers where they are.
All right, we'll leave it there. Joe Shaker from TruVideo, revolutionizing the industry. Tully Williams, it's all about the hours at the Nilo Company. Thank you both today for all you do for fixed operations and for the retail industry. And very honored to have you both with us, with Sarah.
Well, thanks for putting me and Tully together. That was a dangerous thing to even attempt. We'll see everybody later. Thank you.
Tully Williams and Joe Shaker here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.